progression?
I think definitely. It's a win against opposition above us on the ladder for a start, and considering we'd been doing well enough to be at a reasonable position on the ladder, then it had to be against a good team.
Do you see you playing the style of football now that will hold you in good stead in finals this year?
Not thinking about this year, but there's things we need to work on to make a style of football that's going to win against all the best teams and in the best, in finals time. So we've got a fair way to go still to improve to that level.
But is what you're playing now capable of standing up in what you've seen so far? So you've seen
hard to answer, yeah. It's hard to answer. There's plenty of areas we still want to improve on, there's no doubt. Today I thought overall was a really sound performance, just a couple of things that were glaring for us that we don't like to do, but we did. And but that's just more experience for the players. They need to play more games and be in those situations more to be able to learn from that.
What are some of those areas then?
Well, it's more around the game plan that we're playing, so I don't really want to talk about it specifically, but over and above just some skill errors, it's some other parts of the game.
So going back to your first answer, John, is it the most significant win you've had this season?
I think it's you move on very quickly in this game. So the other wins were very, very significant at the time. Even round one, that was pretty significant for us. Today, being fresh win is a very important one for us.
Does it sort of raise the level of belief amongst the team, do you think, to be able to beat such a high quality side on their own?
I think the players have grown a lot in belief this year. There's no doubt about that, and today would reinforce that for sure.
I know you look at games played and ages and that sort of stuff in looking at teams. When do you project that your team will get to sort of its peak?
I made a lot of statements about that a couple of years ago. So our aim is to build a team that can challenge for a premiership, and there's certain things we've got to continue to work on and make happen to achieve that. But I think what people have seen so far is that there is a pathway that we believe in and we're heading down it.
So are you closing in on that then? Do you feel like you're closing in on that?
It's hard to put an actual time on that, but we were expecting to show some improvement this year, and we're hoping we're showing that.
We know the quality and talent of your big guys, but the measure and the maturity of your midfield, which is really where it was today, and against what has been a fairly impressive Carlton sort of instance, that as significant as anything out of the win?
I think so, yeah. We've been really pleased with the mix in our midfield, with what the young players like Swift and Scott Selwood and Shuey have been offering, and with some of the the senior players with Kerr and Predis in there. It's a pretty good mix that we want to keep building on.
What did you make of Scott Selwood's role on Jack?
It's a tough one to answer, other than, I suppose the measure of it is that we didn't have to consider making changes to the way we'd structured up our game plan today at any point, because it was all working about how we thought or hoped it would.
I think even when Jake started to try and go to Kurt, did you think of what you do then if you have two running with him?
Yeah, the players were very well drilled in the scenarios that can take place and how to react to those.
Were you at all concerned when Jamison went off that change of structure for them could actually end up working to their favour?
That's always a possibility. Yeah, you don't know which way things go, and hindsight is obviously the great thing in that case. But our forwards had started pretty well, marking the ball pretty well. So when they were down that tall defender, we thought it potentially was going to help us even more.
Was Darren's run? I think you moved Rosa to him in this.
Rosa played on him a little bit for longer periods. Yeah.
Was Martin Nikoski hit a milestone today? Can you just talk a little bit about his journey at this point?
Yeah, it's he's had his share of injuries over the way, but he's a very, very professional, committed footballer. Has always just made sure he's done everything right to get the best out of himself, and that's meant he's played in a grand final, in a losing one. He missed out in our winning grand final, but was ready to go. And when we looked at some vision of his throughout the week, the genuine real emotion and feeling for him after the 2006 grand final from his teammates was outstanding. And he's carried that on throughout his career. He's enjoying being part of a winning team. It's been a long time coming for him, and he's contributing really well.
What was the reason behind on subbing him today?
Oh, again, you weigh up so many different things in making a decision. So, with where the game was at, what we thought we needed, we thought Nikoski was probably the one to come off for Ebert.
Do you feel as if you could beat Carlton for height in your forward line, John? Was that part of the planning to expose them in their back line?
Well, our forwards are marking the ball well. We're really pleased with the way they're going. We know Kennedy's in very good form, Lynch is in very good form, Darling takes a strong mark, and Nat Nui and Cox have been marking well. So it's certainly been a pretty strong part of our game.
How have you planned for the bye, John? How does it sort of sit with you?
Well, it's a fairly short break, so the bye is around preparing. Really, we're preparing for Geelong. We've got 12 days to get ready for that now. So it's just a long preparation, a bit longer than normal.
Is it a significant period for you now that you've got the bye, plus probably 2 of your next 3 games at home as well? Is that?
They're all significant periods.
I mean,
4 weeks ago, this was going to be. Everyone said, "Well, this next 4 weeks is going to define your year." So that's gone. Let's move on to the next 3 or 4. Well, no, we know the season's 22 games long for us, 24 rounds, and we'll plan around all that. That's ongoing stuff.
And your captain's effort today?
Yeah, he's been outstanding for us. It's just so good to have him back out there, and all those players. Cox back in his best form and fit, and Kerr back. It's a big part of helping build a young team.
Just back on the bye, you've won 4 in a row now. Is the bye a little bit of a momentum killer, or are you sort of welcoming it?
No, because we play our 5th game in a row in 12 days' time. So, well, not 5th in a row, but we'll go for our 5th win in a row in 12 days. Doesn't matter if it's. Sometimes you get 8-day breaks in season. Sometimes it's longer. We're happy with 12 days. We think it'll be perfect to freshen the guys up, but then get some really good work into them leading into the game.
So you have some sort of days after the next?
Not really. No, the players won't have anything on Sunday this next week. But as I said, we're playing on Friday night, so our preparation will be really geared to that.
John, are you but all surprised, or the club all surprised in itself to be where you are at this point?
Well, I've been in the game long enough to not be surprised by too much. Things happen. All our planning was around doing the hard work to make sure we were best prepared for the season, and then you play the season and you see where you end up. So I don't get surprised by a lot in footy.
Are you readjusting? You're thinking at all about where you might be at the end of the season?
My absolute aim at the moment is to try and win our 10th game, and that's been the focus the last couple of weeks. We've talked about that every win for us, for where we're building to as a young team, is really important. So we're just looking to win our next game as quickly as we can.
And the line on Nick Nat Nui shows a pretty spectacular grab.
Yeah, apparently. He's been threatening, I think, and probably the more important thing was that he went back and nailed the goal. It's always nice to kick the goal after you take a hang, but it was big jump. I don't know who he was on, but he's obviously pretty high.
Jack.
Oh, was he? Good on you, Jack. Yeah, that's right. Get a memento. No worries. Thanks a lot.